over here was the front door to the home, and my father walked in to the house after walking up the local Assemblies of God church. And when he walked in, he looked at me and said, "Son, why are you still up? You should be in bed." And in my small voice, I was intimidated and began to try to speak and say what was happening in my young heart. I didn't have the theological words. I didn't have the framework to express well what I sensed and heard from my teacher. But thank God that my father had enough sensitivity that he discerned that God was speaking into the heart of his young little boy, and he sat patiently on that couch listening to my story. And at 5 years old, my father led me to a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. 3 years later, I was 8 years old. And the Assemblies of God district in that area sent all of the young children to a camp for 5 days. And in those camps, we would hear the message of the gospel. We would come down to the altars in the evenings. It was way out into the rural area. And in the stars, they would ask us to come, and we would have altar calls. And I remember that every single night, young children would run to the front and be baptized in the Holy Spirit. And each night, my heart was aching because I was not baptized in the Spirit. And the longer it went, the more hungry I got. And on the last night, Thursday night, the preacher invited all of the children to come, and I remember running to the front, and I found a place under the altar and laying before the Lord, and I said, "Lord, I'm not leaving here until you fill me." And that night, the Holy Spirit filled me with such power, and I remember that they shook me at the end of the night because I remember losing track of time. And the older man said, "John, you must get up and go back to your dorm to go to sleep. We need to turn the lights off." And in the darkness under the stars, I walked back in the darkness to meet my friends where they were sleeping. And under the stars, again, I did not at 8 years old have the theological capacity to explain the fullness of the Spirit. But I knew that something in my heart had changed forever because I had a passion to share Jesus with other people. There was a natural, supernatural ability to love people. How does an 8